I just want to just start off like just generally, how are you? How you doing today?
Good, good, man. I'm still, I know I had hit you and like, yo, we're still moving in the warehouse. We're actually like still moving in the warehouse right now, like doing our final thing. Me and Tom were just hanging our final kind of like poster for the content corner, this big do close focus chart that we had made. And yeah, then we should be by the end of today all moved in, which is yeah, a nice feeling because now I feel like can get back into the flow of things a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
I feel
hard.
like you lose a routine sometimes.
Yeah, when you're in a move, whether it's like, yeah, personal, moving homes, apartments, whatever, or just your office and business, like yeah, it's hard to like find a flow when you're doing and dealing with all that. So
Yeah,
yeah, hoping to now that it gets settled in yeah, our new spot, we could yeah, I could get back into the rhythm of things. But yeah, no, been
absolutely.
good. Been good.
Yeah. How's dad life?
Crazy. Love it. It's just yeah, I'm just very thankful that like I have like I've kind of put myself in a position where yeah, now I can really control my own time and schedule because as like having the new kids and being able to like just be around a lot more and be just more present, like I just knew that was something that I always wanted to do, and so
Mm.
yeah, very thankful for that. But yeah, they're little gremlins right now. They're like almost 3, and so
You have
it's
twins, right?
twins. Yeah, it's
Wow.
a lot, but no, absolutely love it. And man, it's awesome just watching them grow and develop. And then yeah, I got a third on the way as well, due in
Really? Congratulations.
January. So thank you. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
exciting. So
Yeah, you said something about like having the free time to be able to like be around them or just be home, and that's something that you've always wanted. And I think something that I've always sort of admired about you for the past maybe 5 years or so that I've become familiar with who you are is you've always had this sort of like ownership quality
mm,
to the way that you live and the way that you go about things. And I think that is sort of contrary to a lot of the filmmaking sort of life, freelance life.
yeah,
And I think it comes also with a lot of positivity and a lot of, hate from people. And
yeah.
I'm just curious that as you've grown as like a freelancer, as a filmmaker, and started to develop that sort of ownership quality to yourself, how much, like, what has that given you really in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really do have like complete freedom of what do I, when I wake up, it's like, what do I want to work on today? And there are certain freedoms that you lose because obviously when you're running a business, like you can't just do whatever you want to do. Like
Right.
there are duties and things that you need to do and fulfill to make sure the machine is running right. And so, but yeah, for the most part, it's like if we have an idea, for whether it's like a project that we want to do, like a short film, cool, let's go do it. Like with the video store, we built the store and then it's like, oh, dude, let's shoot a film here, and we shoot a film there. And we put like we get it just whatever idea that comes in our head, we can kind of attack whether it's yeah production wise or even just product wise. Like I think the most recent example of that for Prism is like the go bag that we're making, and on set one day we're just like, dude, it was literally on my short film last year. The DP was just like, oh, I wish I could just wear your filters, and it was just like.
That's pretty
It was
funny.
just like, oh, okay, there's something there. And so then yeah, I started drumming up that idea, partnered with Cord Bag, and have been bringing that to life. And then we get to shoot all the creative assets around that, and just yeah, have full, complete ownership of everything that we do. I I'm one of those people, and I'm sure there's many others like this out there. They don't like being bossed around or being told what to do. And
Yeah.
like for me, just I recognized early on that's how I operated and how I worked best. And even to like my early production days, whenever I would get, notes back from the client, would just like, no, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. Like I would just fight that so hard. And so I think that's why I always early on started leaning into like, okay, what do I want to start? What business, what route do I want to go where it's like I don't have to yeah take heed from anyone else. I make what and do whatever I want to do. And I think that's led and been a big part of why we started Tropic, and then the film studios
Right.
and Prism and just everything kind of in between. So yeah, just I don't know. I was always like that as a kid though too. Like I was always just
Mm.
making and creating different things, and I think I've talked about that before, where I think that just always like making my own board games and just making my own like magazines and shooting little films with my neighborhood friends and everything. Like I was just always making and creating and building different stuff. And I think that also just also kind of carried into my adult life where I just like creating and building different things. Um, even to like watching, I used to always watch HGTV with my mom all the time. And so like interior design, like that was always something I was just telling Tom, like I took a course of interior design in college as like, like
Mm.
a extra, what do they call it?
Curricular thing.
Extracurricular
Yeah.
thing, just because
Yeah.
that interests me. But I think that all led from my various interests into like ultimately like opening the first studio. Um, and yeah, just I don't know. Yeah, I just like having control
Yeah.
and just making different things, whether that's a video or a location or a product, or I just like building and creating things. So
Mm,
yeah.
I feel the same way. I think my natural instinct is to kind of have some ownership, even though my job is technically a DP and I don't necessarily have ownership per se
Right.
over certain projects. I think having this podcast, doing YouTube,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
some other things that I'm building have given me the freedom and sort of that ownership quality that I sort of want in my
Yeah.
life. Um, and the more that I talk to freelancers, the more I hear some people want to do things and then some people have no desire.
Right.
Do you think that today, being a freelancer alone is enough? Or do you think it's something where everyone should try to think and try to find something for
No,
themselves?
I
Do you think
don't.
everyone?
I don't think it's for everyone, you know what I mean? I think
Mm,
there are certain people that work really well within the confines of, being kinda told what to do or work in that freelance realm, or like just being a gun for hire and not necessarily building their own thing. Because it takes a different to really build your own thing in a successful long-term stability way, like that can carry on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You have to have, I think, a different kind of mindset and attitude and work ethic, and not everyone has that, you know what I mean? And so I
Can
don't
you dive into that a little bit?
well, I
A little bit
just
more into that mindset?
yeah, I just think and I don't know what it is. I don't even think it's something, yeah, you can like learn or be taught. It's just you either have it or you don't, and not to like dunk on anyone in any way, but like my brother, he does a lot of like kind of for Tropic back end customer service stuff. And he is just the type of person who is okay working a 9 to 5, doing side hustle stuff like that for me, helping me out with customer service. But I could never see him going out and really building his own business. Like I just don't think he has the tenacity or the drive or work ethic to do that. It takes so much of you. And that's the stuff that people don't see, right? Like I have people tell me this all the time, like I make it look easy. Not and like
Mm,
I've had friends when I started opening the film studios early on. I had so many colleagues and industry friends start to try and open their own studios once they saw, and I can't tell you how many of them closed and shut down and don't exist now
I'm sure
because
most of them, to be honest. Yeah.
right, and it's like because I think it made it I'm Tom, I, Chanel, etcetera, the people involved made it look easy. Like, oh, boom, they just popped open this studio, popped open this studio. Oh, they're doing so well. Look how busy and booked they are, and all these cool
Well, I see the
projects
final
coming.
product. Yeah.
Right. And so, but there's so much that goes in, not only just the groundwork to get it, but to build it out, but then just behind the scenes to run it. It's a lot,
Mm,
and if you're trying to do that all yourself, and the only reason you're doing it is because you see someone else doing it and go like, "Oh, I could do that," that you're not getting into it for the right reasons. Like the reason we got into the studio game is because like one, I genuinely like was interested in that realm of like building out spaces, but also like it just was an idea I had that catered to like, dude, I already rent out all these film locations for my projects. I'm spending on one of the shoots, I was like, I'm spending a third of my budget to rent this location. What if I could just shoot at my own location? And so it started, that
right.
was like kind of the idea one day on set. And it's like, okay, we opened up our first spot, Honeymoon, and it just took off. And so, but we got into it with the right idea and intention of like wanting to have our own spaces to shoot at. I never looked at it through the lens of like, this is how I'm going to make money. It was always like, I could save money and have my own cool crafted place that I built that I know I would want to shoot at. And if I would want to shoot at it, other people will want to shoot at it too. And yeah, that's why like with the 40 acres and Adelanto, I was like, dude, how cool would it be if I could shoot on a plane crash and a roadside gas station? Like, so that's why I built it. It's like I built it for me and the projects that I wanted to shoot there and what I knew I wanted to. And just as a result, obviously people wanted to shoot there as well. It got booked, it made money, but I didn't go into it with the idea of like, oh, I see this person doing it, they're doing well, making money, I'm going to do that too. And I think that's a lot of people get caught up in that kind of like shiny object syndrome where they see someone else doing
Yes.
something and then they're like, okay, let me do that. Let me, and it's like that's just not the right way to go about it. And I even get, I kind of go back to when I get questions of people asking me like, how did I get into, film in the first place? And like, I think now you have, with the way social media has like become, you have a lot of people getting into film in the creative space because you can get all these followers and you can make money with brand deals and do this and this. And like early on, I got into it just because I just loved picking up a camera and making videos and movies. There was no ulterior motive of like, oh, like I want to be famous. I want to be have all these followers. Like Instagram really wasn't like a thing like that. So again, got into it for the right reasons. And it's like that anytime you get into anything for the right reasons, I think like you have a much higher chance of just like longevity in that thing. Cause
Yeah.
naturally, no matter what you're doing in your career, whether you're a freelancer, you have and started a business, there's going to be peaks and valleys. It's going to get really tough. There's going to be a moment where you're just like up against a brick wall and you're just like, fuck, this sucks. And it's like, if you don't really like that thing, if you didn't get into it for the right reasons, like it's going to be easy to like fold up shop and be like, all right, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. On to the next thing. So yeah, I try and I've made that mistake in my life. Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, I've never done that kind of, oh, they're
Yeah.
doing this, let me do that. Like I've for sure have done that too, and those and it's failed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's like
I've done that too, plenty of
yeah,
times.
I don't think there's anyone that hasn't. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we all I think are gonna make that kind of mistake at some point in our lives because it's easy to yeah, like I said, sit back and look at someone else doing something and be like, "Oh yeah, I wanna do that too." And then you jump into it for yeah, that reason and not the right reason because you actually really, really wanna do that. Like, even like I think I'm like a filmmaker, but also an entrepreneur at heart. And there's lots of times like I'll be on social media and I'll see like a really clever business idea, and I'm like, oh, I should do that. Like we could do that
Mhm.
here, make some good money. And I'm like, no, Jake, pump the brakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just really easy to get excited about something new and yeah, jump into it and not have it be, yeah, for the right reasons. So
For sure. It's
yeah.
something that I've like learned about myself too, or I've had a realization, especially with the podcast in particular. Even my DP career, YouTube. If it's not going perhaps the way that I envisioned it was, or it's not, maybe progressing as fast as I wanted to, I oftentimes would, find something else that I could maybe hop into to see if that could cure or that could fix the
Mhm.
problem of whatever I'm not successful over here.
Yeah.
And in those moments, like even so stupid, but like I looked at drop shipping and I looked at so many other stupid like
Yeah.
things because at this particular moment in time, I felt that my career wasn't working. I felt the podcast wasn't working, but it was just like a moment in time where it wasn't working. And
Right.
instead of, doubling down on trying to make that thing work,
Right.
I
You're looking
turned
for
around and
something
tried to
else.
look for something else.
Yeah,
And I realized I did that. And I was like, why am I looking for something else when I need to double down and fix why this isn't
100%.
working? And that was a big revelation to me.
But I think that's something I've done, and I think that's something anyone who's gonna listen to this has done or has thought about, you know what I mean? Because, like
Yeah.
I said, there's gonna be those moments where you have those kind of peaks and valleys, and in those valleys, it's easy to be like, "Okay, this isn't working, like, what else could I do to either supplement this or maybe try something new that does work?" And it's like, no, like really, yeah, the answer is really just doubling down on, I mean, I can even relate that to Prism, like, right? Like we started Prism and kind of out the gate was doing just great. And there was a moment where we unfortunately like just lost a little control and there were some things happening behind the scenes where it put us in a pretty bad spot like financially and we are just like fuck dude like well like do we like what do we do here and rather than I'll be honest there was a moment where we wanted to like fold and then we were talking to our business operations manager who really kind of then came and was like no like let me come in and turn like we're gonna be good. Like, just be patient, give me some time. And we really hunkered down. And I think we were also very distracted at that point too. Like, we
Mm.
weren't more focused on Prism like we are now. Like, we had so many, you know, what's it called, stokes in the fire or pans in the
Yeah,
fire,
yeah, yeah.
and we were spread thin in other areas too. And but then, yeah, we kind of made the decision to collectively, okay, let's not, you know, fold. Let's refocus our attention and double down. And yeah, we really hunkered down. And dude, we're in the best spot that we've ever been, with our business. And yeah, it just really came towards, like, yeah, bringing that attention and focus back to that thing versus, like,
Mm.
yeah, spreading thin and looking elsewhere or trying to do something else. So I think that
Mm.
is important. Yeah.
How valuable has it been to have a business
Oh
partner?
my.
Like, I know that you and Thomas are very close, and I know
Yeah.
you work with your wife, very close as
Yeah.
well. Like, what is that like, having business partners that you could really trust?
I mean, that's the probably one of the biggest reasons to, like, our success in those different areas, because it's like you really can't do anything alone. You can't grow alone. Like, if you really want to go to that next level, and it's like having, yeah, I always say I got lucky finding Tom early on, like, when we started shooting music videos together. Because even if you were to look at it, he was almost like a business partner in that aspect. Like, he wasn't a business partner in my production company, but he kind of was in a way. We just did everything together. And yeah,
Yeah.
that sprouted into then obviously like Tropic and Prism and the studios and everything beyond. And, like, yeah, there's so many things that he does so well that I don't do well, and that he's interested in that, like, I have zero interest in. But it's important to grow business. And then inversely,
Yeah.
same thing for me. Like, there's so many things that I do well that I like about the business that he would never touch or do or know how to do. And it's like we balance each other well, and it helps, a rising tide lifts all boats. And so, yeah, like, without Tom, without Chanel, my wife, because yeah, early on, like, we started Honeymoon together, which was the first studio, and without her, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Because
Yeah.
it was just like, at the time, I was so busy with shooting all the time that the location itself really needed someone to manage the bookings, communicate with the producers who were trying to book, and site rep, and, like, I couldn't have been on set shooting or going off to do this music video, indie feature, whatever it was, and doing that. There's just no way. And so having her with that, her help with having her help with that in that part of the business, and was instrumental. And the reason why 6 months later it was just like, oh, we should do another one. And that's when bought the Eclectic West. Then after the
Mm.
Eclectic West, Tom's like, yo, I want in on the location. Then we did the barracks. Like, so yeah, none of the businesses would be what they are without that other counterpart, that co-owner, that person that's right there alongside me. You know what I mean? And so
Mm.
yeah, it's absolutely instrumental. I think, but that's like one of the hardest things to find. So, like, how do you find that? And I've been asked that over the years, and it's like, I don't think there's necessarily really an answer of like, oh, this is how you find that. I think you just will kind of know. And I think the biggest advice I could give to that is just like, your your work, like, if you're gonna find like a partner that you're gonna start a business with or be a co-owner or whatever, like, I think your work ethic, you really have to identify, does your work ethics match? Like, are you
Mm.
look at their work ethic, does it align with yours? Because where a lot of relationships fracture in business is like when one person's doing all the work, the other one's not doing as much work, but you're like still making the same amount of money, pulling in the same. There,
Right.
there really begins a rift
There's
or
some
a tear
tension
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So does your work ethic align? And then I think the other biggest thing is like ethics and morals too. If
Mm.
like, if your ethics and morals are like, you're just two totally different people, within a business, like, you got to have the same kind of ethics and morals to, like, really grow a business. Those are the two biggest things I think: work ethic. Do your work ethic align, and do your morals and ethics align? And then,
Mm.
yeah, obviously interest too. Like, you both have to
Yeah.
have interest. So those are like the three things. Do you have mutual interest in that business, that topic, that thing? Are you equally passionate about that thing? Do you guys have the same ethics and morals, or at least, similar, not
Similar.
just like
Yeah.
drastically
Yeah.
different? And then, yeah, do you guys have the same work ethic? Are you both going to work, you know, really hard together on that business, where there's not going to be, yeah, that tension of like, dude, I'm doing all the work and you're not doing anything? Because that I've seen firsthand, friends in the industry that start business together, and that doesn't align, and those relationships have always ended or fractured in some way. So yeah, I mean, super grateful for Tom and yeah, now my wife, for their parts in all of the things that I do 100%.
This episode is brought to you by Chiva Collective. Chiva is a new platform I've been building for creatives, filmmakers, and freelancers. It's about mindset, discipline, leadership, communication, and building a sustainable, healthy career, both on and off set. Inside, we'll cover everything from business and finances to health and wellness and nutrition, to leadership, to communication, to creative ownership, and much more. If you're somebody who wants to push your career forward, grow in community, and invest in yourself, now's the time to join the waitlist. Head over to chivacollective.com. That's chivacollective.com. Sign up and be the first to know when the doors open. Join the waitlist now, and I look forward to welcoming you to this community. I think you're like a perfect person to kind of ask this because it's something that I sometimes, I think I dealt with in the beginning as I started to, even create the podcast, put myself out on YouTube, put myself out just a little bit more outside of the traditional sort of freelance world. And I have some friends in freelance that want to start something. They want to maybe start a YouTube channel. They want to put themselves out more, but they have this crippling fear that they're going to, nobody's going to watch, they're going to get made fun of. They're going to get so much hate that they
Yeah.
just never do anything. And, the amount of years that you've put into putting yourself out there, creating new things, I'm sure you've had your fair share of hate. And I'm just, I'm curious about how you've, how you have sort of overcome that feeling and then push past it to actually create something.
Yeah, it's weird. It's interesting because obviously early on, I just didn't really care about any of that. I don't think that was just ever on
Mm,
the forefront of my mind. I just liked creating stuff and putting stuff out there on YouTube and grew a big audience on there. And then when that really started to turn and develop into like a large following and people in the industry knowing who I am, and especially once, Tropic kind of got started and the studios and Prism, um, it was around, yeah, after all of those were kind of built and whatever, where the hate started to creep in a lot more. Because I didn't really feel or see hate early on. Like, it doesn't ring a bell. Like, I just don't remember that at all. Just on my kind of journey and come up, like, it was mostly like, yeah, all love and support and people loving the videos I was putting out, my that helpful stuff on the YouTube, as well as just my final work. And I was just always sharing how I did things. But yeah, it was really once I kind of shifted into the I guess the business world and started running, the studios and Prism and different things, where and it had kind of really, I guess, had a relatively big name in the space, whatever you want to call it, where yeah, the hate started to come in. And I'm not really sure why, outside of like, yeah, maybe there's a seeds of jealousy, and just like, obviously not everyone's gonna love what you do. I mean, there's the easiest way to put it is like there's people that probably think M Night is a amazing director, and there's other people who think, they hate his movies and they think he's trash, or like an artist like Drake's the greatest of all time, and there's other people that hate him and think he's
yeah.
whack, but he's like the biggest artist in the world. There's no denying that. So it's like you're going to get to a certain point where your name is, if you get to that point, if you're lucky enough to get to that point to where people know who you are, there's inevitably going to be people that just don't like you for whatever reason, or think you're corny, or think you're
Yeah.
whack, or I mean, uh, I think that's one thing that I struggled with. If I did have to pinpoint something that I struggled with, is people, colleagues, and people within the industry alongside of me when I was heavily directing music videos, that thought, and I heard it just from behind the scenes through people that like thought I was corny because of all
Mm,
of this stuff that I put out there, because of my focus on social media and doing YouTube videos and doing behind the scenes videos, sharing information. Like, people in the industry didn't do that. They didn't like that. And I mean, I remember being on, a set, my own set, um, where it was like a different production company producing it, and I was like doing behind the scenes stuff, and they got really upset, and it was just like, I don't know. That was the thing I think I struggled with most, is just people, colleagues alongside of me in the industry, looking at what I was doing, sharing information, starting these businesses, and being like, and sharing content online, social media, and thinking I was corny and whack. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's corny. I'm whack. Like, yeah, like I don't know. It's just that's more what bothered me than someone online being like, "This video sucks. Your short film sucks."
Right.
Like, that's
Right.
not what bothered me. Like,
It's more about the people around you.
yeah, just I think people within in the industry, because it's like it was just weird to me. It's like you, and maybe it wasn't you directly, but it was other people like alongside of you. Like, there's colleagues that are in our sphere, and even just beyond us, bigger, that are like literally shooting their movies at a location I built using our
Mhm.
products, but like somehow I'm corny, like, and I don't know. So that I think more that's the thing I probably struggled with most during that time was just colleagues in the industry, just
Yeah.
almost like looking down on me, I guess if you will, and that's
Mm.
probably what bothered me, but now I don't give a shit, like,
Yeah, and
that
okay,
I
yeah.
but at the time, that was, because now I have those same industry people coming to me asking me shit. Like, I'm not gonna name his name, but big director, directing a huge series for network TV, called me the other day asking me for advice on how to launch a product and marketing things and this and that, and it's like, "Oh, isn't that funny?" Like, but I love him,
Mhm.
but I know there's probably other people out there that would love to know that information, but would never come to me and ask me because I don't know. So it's just yeah, it's interesting that, there's people that will look at someone like me, or, who's kind of putting all of that out there and sharing all that as I'm sure you get it. Do you get it at all too? Like, people for
A
doing
bit.
for doing YouTube stuff, like,
Yeah, a
or
bit.
no?
I think I have plenty of times before, for sure. I think I get it less because the stuff that I make on YouTube is unique in the sense that I don't really promote products very much. I
Right,
don't do like a lot of gear reviews. What I really do on YouTube, to be honest, is sit in front of a camera and talk about things that I'm feeling.
right.
And like
I like that.
if I had like a problem, or if I'm struggling through something, I usually just talk about it. And not that they do super well in terms of monetization or
Right,
whatever, but like those are the videos that I really love. And I think that my honesty and transparency in that way has helped me.
right.
Um, but I have definitely gotten my fair share of hate, and it's definitely hindered me in some regard of pushing forward. But I think I've sort of reminded myself that I need to just create, if I'm going to create something, whether it's a YouTube video, a podcast, or something else, it just needs to be undeniably so good that nobody has anything to
Mm,
say about it. So it's for me, it's just putting everything I have into something so it is undeniably good. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but for me, that helps me overcome that sort of feeling of like, this is a half-assed video, this is a half-assed thing. Someone's probably going to say something about it or whatever.
right. No, I feel
Mm.
that. Yeah, because yeah, you don't. I haven't seen everything that you've done, but yeah, I would say it's more focused on, yeah, just you talking about what you're feeling, as well as like you breaking down your projects, and it's less like
Yeah,
the traditional probably YouTuber who unboxes a new camera and talks about the specs and different things. So no,
yeah,
that makes
for sure.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I try to find what I like to do. And whenever people try to ask me about, if they should start it, I pretty much just tell them the same thing that you said before is like, just why are you starting? Like, what is the reason for you starting this?
Yeah.
Like, are you actually passionate about it? Like starting this YouTube channel or starting this side hustle or this business, or are you doing it because you just feel like,
100%.
you want to do something else? And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people tend to not even have asked themselves that question. And once they get asked that question, it reveals a lot about how they move forward from
Right.
there.
No, I would agree
Mm.
with that. And then yeah, I mean, even just yeah, doing it for the right reasons, because it's also like, yeah, are you doing it because you see other people doing it and they're successful at it and having like a moment on YouTube and are gaining these followers, and now you want that. And so it's like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. Is that really the, kind of underlying thing? Or do you like, yeah, genuinely genuinely want to start a YouTube channel and make just stuff that you want to make, or is it because yeah, you want to start this and make this because you see other people having a moment with it? Yeah, that's like yeah, a big thing too.
I want to shift it to
Yeah.
something that's pretty important to me, and something that I know that a lot of filmmakers struggle with is sort of financial literacy. I think that it is like it's so crucial to
Yeah.
have some basic level of financial literacy. And from your experiences you've come up through this career, like, have there been moments where you realized that your level of financial literacy needed to be changed, it needed to be better because something happened, or like what shifted in your sort of career that you realized you needed to start really doubling down on understanding your finances?
Honestly, there really wasn't a moment or a shift of like, oh, I need to double down or do that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of always went through life just trying to be, I guess, just trying to be smart, like not be dumb. Like, and like, I, I just, I never really cared about the like the appearance of things, like, oh, he's got a nice car, he's got a nice watch, nice clothes, and like nice material. Like I could care less about that stuff. Like so I always like saved my money and put it towards like saving it to yeah, just long term stability in terms of like I knew I wanted to buy a house and I knew I wanted to invest in real estate and just like give me things because I just knew like I had already saw myself like I don't want to be a career DP or director that solely relies on gig to gig.
Right.
You know, knowing especially I wanted to start a family and how present my dad was, like, I want to be around and I don't want to be gone for 3 months at a time shooting a movie. And that, like, if that happens, amazing. And I'll still do that to this day. But like, I just knew I didn't want that to be my sole dependency in my life moving forward, my sole dependent thing. So I felt like I was just always smart in terms of like, okay, I'm not going to like overspend and buy a bunch of dumb shit. I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna buy a house, and then it just things kind of just started to reveal themselves. I think like I
Mm.
bought my first house and I moved into it, and then yeah, I was going to LA for a few months to work on a ton of projects, and so I just put the house up on Airbnb. And then all of a sudden, the house started to book like crazy just because of it's in a great area in Arizona. There's lots of events that happen. And I was like, oh, wow, this house is like making me money while I'm gone, and then it was like, okay, I'm gonna save all the money that I make from Airbnb this year and buy another house next year. So I saved all that money, didn't spend it, and then in 2016, after 2015, bought my second house and made that specifically an Airbnb. But now both houses were so busy on Airbnb. I was like, I need an actual house for myself to live in when I'm back. Like, because I still didn't, I could never stay in them when I was back in town. And so then I bought my house, and like it just, I don't. And then that rolled into like, okay, I need a house in LA. But like, this was right at the time where I mentioned like, oh, like I'm spending all this money to rent a location. What if I just bought a house and turned it into a location that I could use for my own shoots, but then rent out, and I'll be fine if I could live rent free, like amazing. I think the mortgage on the LA house was like $3,500. And I was like, I'd be fine with that. But then that started making a bunch of money. I was like, oh, there's something here to this film studio thing. So then it's like, aha. And then so it just kind of just, I don't know, it just like just happened. There
Mm.
wasn't some like master plan or like, oh, I'm gonna make a plan on how to be financially literate. I'm gonna invest in this over here, put money away over here. It just kind of like I don't know, as it happened, it revealed itself to me. I was able to identify, oh, there's something here, and then run with it. And yeah, I mean,
I
I've
think
I've
the
made mistakes
I
along the
think
way too. Like I've lost a bunch of money along the way on investments and
yeah.
different things, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes
I think the
sense.
thing that it does, and I think the thing that I'm hearing, and I think is really the key, is that when you realize something is working or you see a potential of something, you actually go and do it
Yeah, yeah.
instead of just like thinking about it
Right.
and dreaming about it happening. You actually go and do the thing.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, even to do that LA house is very scary. I had never bought, I mean, the house was like 730,000, like it's an expensive house for me.
It's not
It's
cheap.
not cheap. But then beyond that, I obviously like I did like a vintage kind of 60s, 70s, mid-century modern. It's like the house is empty, so I got to furnish it. That furniture is not cheap. Probably spent another I don't remember, 50 to 70,000 somewhere in there to like stage it all out. And I remember being terrified through this process, buying the house, buying all this furniture, staging it. I'm like, dude, I'm so far into this. Like, what if no one rents this? Like, and it was yeah, it was terrifying. But then it just started working, and ultimately ran into a snag with that house where it was so busy all the time. The neighbors hated it because
Yeah, I'm sure.
it was in West Hills, a little more affluent slash, quiet area outside the bustling of LA. And they hated the busyness of it and started calling the cops. And Film LA was down our throats saying they're going to blacklist us if crews aren't getting permits. And it was just really became a nightmare because we were so busy. Um, and it was just like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore with this house. Like, we got to figure something out. So we sold the house and then rebuilt it in a warehouse in downtown LA, which is our current honeymoon spot. But yeah, that kind of happened as well, right? Like, that was right around COVID when we sold it, and prices
Mm,
spiked. And so bought it for 730, sold it for 850, made 100 grand just in that year. So it's like things just happen that way. But I'll admit, like, I'm just now, which is far too long delayed, getting a financial advisor, which
mm.
I should have done years ago, because I don't think I would have made some of the dumb mistakes financially that I've made in the past 5 years had I had one, where I just kind of dumb, risky investments that weren't thought through. Me just thinking, probably ego thing a little bit, like, oh yeah, whatever I put my money into or do is gonna work.
It's gonna work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like then it not working and having a little bit of a reality check, like, oh, that was a one-off thing. This next thing will work, and then that doesn't. It's like, oh, shit. Like, so I've definitely, yeah, have had made some mistakes along the way. And yeah, it's been long time overdue. But yeah, all that to say, like, I'm finally getting a financial advisor to be like, all right, you guys kind of point me in the direction of what to do for long term, just investment career wise, because obviously, as like, self-employed business owners, freelancers, like, we don't have these pensions or 401ks and this and that retirement. Like, you have to do that yourself.
Do it. Yeah.
And so, yeah, kind of moving in the direction of like, I'm not smart, or there's smarter people in that area than me. So like, I need to put my trust in those people that can guide me and stop, yeah, thinking I can just do it all myself. So yeah, getting a financial advisor here this year is going to be a big
Yeah,
step.
it's gonna
But
be great.
yeah, so
Mm. This might be
yeah.
getting into the weeds a little bit, but this is stuff that I'm like really curious about. I'm curious about your perspective on debt, good debt versus bad
Mm,
debt. If there is a difference, what your perspective is, because you know some people will say having a house and having a mortgage is great. Some people say it's horrible. I know that you recently just paid off your mortgage.
yeah.
And I know that, throughout your business career, I'm sure you've had to get maybe business loans or if you paid everything in cash. I'm not sure, but I'm curious about that sort of mentality and what you think about debt in business.
No, I mean, there certainly can be good and bad debt. It's like, obviously, when you go to buy a house, like, you're gonna have a mortgage, you're gonna be in debt. But if you're, using it, for example, if I just talk about the first Airbnb property, it's like, I think my mortgage on that was roughly around 2,000 bucks a month, and so I think I bought it for 300 some thousand, put 20% down, so I'm in debt and owe the bank 250 something thousand dollars at that time, and I have this mortgage. But if it's also making me 4K a month, and these people are paying down that debt for me, plus I'm making money, that's smart, good debt,
Right.
but then there becomes a point too where, obviously, like, you have to kind of weigh out, like, just it can take a mental toll too, like, if you have all
Mhm.
these different things that you have to
Yeah.
worry about, right? And so I think that's kind of and I'll get into why we paid off our house right here, is like, so had the LA house, had Eclectic West, had my Hudson property, have my house, had just literally probably earlier this year, or maybe at the end of last year, like 4 or 5 properties. I've got 2 new kids, twins, got third on the way. I really want to focus in on my business, Prism, as well as some other things. Having all those other little things, there are little things that take my attention away. It's like, oh, this renter almost they literally almost burned down the house, and we had to deal with insurance and claims, and like then they're moving out, get a new renter, like, and I had people in place, but there's still things I'm having to deal with, and property tax, there's all these things, right? And it just got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm at a spot in my life, like I wouldn't mind selling all that, paying off my house, and being completely debt free. And now I can just fully creatively focus on my, not only my business, but then just my family too. Like, and so like made that decision to sell Eclectic, sell Hudson, sell the LA house, pay off my house, and now be debt free, have my house, focus on my business. And now I get to figure out, okay, what do I want to do with this other money? And that's why I'm getting a financial advisor, because I'm like, I don't want to make
Yeah.
I don't want to make a really dumb rash decision with that money that then I lose that. So yeah, and to me that's just like, yeah, I'm at a point in my life where I I wanted that like just mental kind of like freedom a bit.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know
I
what I
really
mean?
do. Yeah,
And
I do.
it makes a difference. Like I've honestly, since selling all those properties, sleep way better. Like
Yeah.
just yeah, I get a great night's sleep every night, because there's not just that little thing in the back of your mind, like as you're going to bed, like just like, I don't know, there's something there, and when you have all of those extra responsibilities and things weighing down on you, maybe not even in that moment, there's still something there where you just know
You feel
mentally
it.
you feel it, or like you have to make enough money to make sure you that's covered. Oh, you even if it's not making money, it's like some sort of menial task that you're putting off that is just adding stress to your plate. Like, "Ah, fuck, I gotta do that, but like I gotta get to this work first." And so there is something to, yeah,
Just
being
slimming down a
just
little bit.
slimming down
Yeah.
and whatnot. And I just, yeah, my wife and I made that decision this year to like go that route, because we could have held on to the properties and made it
Mhm.
work, but we just were like, you know what, let's just zero it out and relax and kind of focus on what's in front of us. Because I think with Prism we're in an interesting spot where it's just like I would really love to give that more of my attention, because it's always, for Tom and I and everyone, been a little more of like a passion project that we've done on the side with along everything else. And it's like, dude, what would happen if we like zeroed in on this a little more? And so
Mm.
I think that was another reason too. Um, yeah, so no, I think it was a good decision. It did absolutely kill me though to let go of Eclectic, because like that was like, for me, like yeah, a dream, really. Like I had this idea, made it happen, and I had so many, like if I pull it up on my desktop, like I have sketches and renderings for like all different types of stuff, like a big like desert motel with office and everything that I wanted to do out there, a biker bar and things. And like I had such big goals and dreams and ambitions for that. But yeah, again, where things start to pile on your plate a little bit, and you're just like, I'd rather not deal with this. Like was dealing with a lot, kind of like the just local government out there was just trying to find me for certain things and wanted me to rezone the property since it was residential. And but I was running a business.
Mm.
They wanted me to rezone it commercial, and they're like, that's going to cost, minimum 30 grand. We need to get it this. You need to pay for it was like a land survey where they come out and map the property, and that was like 8 grand. And then I'd get it was just like they started, like the local government started putting me in all these like
In a
positions,
weird,
and
yeah, tough spot.
it's like, dude, come on. And so,
Mm.
um, yeah, I think that was something that also led to, yeah, just wanting to like slim down. And it's like, dude, I had the property for 5 years. I used it for so many of my own projects. It probably been used in 400 or 500 different productions. I did get to see that dream realized to an extent. Like I can walk away and be okay with that. But that is one still to this day. It's like, ah, man, kind of wish I still had it, but also like kind of don't.
Mm.
It's tough. It's tough. So, but
You feel like you're more at peace now,
what'd you say?
a little bit? Do you feel like you experience a little bit more peace now within yourself?
For sure, 100%. And you could ask my wife. She's like, this year, she's like, you're just different this year. Like I can just sense it about you. Just even just probably the way I act and treat her too. Not that I was, a bad husband or treating her poorly, but just like I'm just very like I think I'm more, and she would probably tell you, just more conscious of her and more helpful and thoughtful in ways and things. And she's brought that up multiple times recently and this year, just like you just seem a little different. And that's probably, yeah, because you don't have all this like especially
Weight.
as like a
Yeah.
man too, when you have a family, like I feel like on top of all that, there's just a lot of weight and pressure that gets put on your shoulders that a lot of people will never see or understand
Mhm.
unless, and so yeah, I I do think I feel just, yeah, I guess lighter is the best
Yeah.
the best best way to put it. Um
Yeah, I'm in a similar position where I'm trying to slim down as
yeah.
much as I can. Obviously, it wasn't where I'm at is not the extent of where you were, but even with the minimal stuff that I have,
What's like some
I
of the stuff
f-
that for you that
honestly
weighs
right
on
now,
you?
like just paying off my car, don't want that
Right.
anymore.
Right.
My camera and lens, that's a great investment. I haven't had to pay for it once.
Right.
It's made money for me every single month for the past 2 years, but I just don't want that payment anymore. I
Yeah.
just want to get rid of it. Um, and just trying to cut down on certain expenses that I thought were once, beneficial to me.
Right.
And even if it's minimal amounts, I'm just trying to slim
Yeah.
down and just try to feel a little bit. I just want to breathe a little bit
Yeah, yeah.
better,
No, 100%.
you know?
I mean, I think that's a very admirable thing. I feel like social media in general can make us feel like we need to be doing so much more and we need to have a lot more and we need to be doing this and have this and
Yeah.
then buy this new thing to whatever it is, right? And I think it's easy for us to kind of stack all these things on our shoulders, and sometimes the best thing is just like, yeah, just slimming down and living and operating a little more,
Lean
yeah, lean. 100%.
for
I
sure.
mean, even
People ask me, I was gonna say, people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, did you see this new camera, the new Burano, or the new whatever, new lenses, all this stuff?" Which, like, you can, no, I'm not kidding. I have
yeah,
no interest in anything anymore, to be honest with
yeah,
you. Um,
that's cool.
I have my thing, and I'd rather invest somewhere else or just
Yeah,
save my money and focus on myself. But I just, in terms of film equipment and like the way that people seem to want to always want like buy something,
yeah,
it doesn't really attract me anymore
yeah.
at all.
That's interesting. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, and then similarly for me, it's like I would rather put that money and energy towards for us now, like going on a family vacation. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
so
Yeah.
I want to take more trips, and it's like I'd rather be doing that than like, yeah, buying gear or buying, having this or that. So I would much rather make those memories and go on a trip and have more freedom to do that and not even give it a second thought. Like, oh,
Hmm.
like, should we do this? Like, it's like, no, if we want to do it, let's go do it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at in my life. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's definitely nice.
Mm.
So, yeah, yeah.
In business or just in your life in general, do you have any non-negotiables that you live by?
Mm, that's a good one. Non-negotiables that I'm trying to think. Like, I guess currently, um, probably when it comes to work, a non-negotiable for me is like if I'm going to sign on to a project that, like, it's going to sound like I have to be able to like get content that I can use for my businesses. Like for me, like it's
Yeah.
just like because my the money I can make from my businesses and the time that I can allot myself to my businesses is more important than you hiring, like me going to do this thing for you. And I get to be very selective now about the projects I do, which is awesome, which is great. But it's like if I'm going to be like, if you come to me and want me to do this thing and I want to do it, I need to be able to like also
Right.
use it as a way to like, if I get a share behind the scenes or talk about this or use my at least use my products on that. Like I need to have, if I'm signing on to a project, need to be able to like have that project benefit, I guess, my
Right.
business in some way. So in terms of
I understand that.
business,
Yeah.
in terms of business, that's probably a non-negotiable for me. And then yeah, I guess personal life. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like I just like spending time right now with my kids. And so yeah, I guess kind of I guess if it relates back to business, like I'm not going to sign on to any like super long-term project right now, which is a like
Mm.
non-negotiable for me. Like their years are so formative right now. Like, oh, I shot for 1 week in Michigan for this Michigan baseball documentary on their on the baseball team, and I came back, and Cash and Callie, my kids, were like just had an extra 2 words in each sentence that were like just now it was almost like it just felt like within a week they like just
You missed a
I
lot.
missed a lot. And so
Yeah.
especially right now, like I could see it maybe as I get a little older, like doing longer projects, but like for me right now, like it's got to be a pretty sweet deal and project for me to like dip for a month. And even like they're trying to sell the show and turn it into like we shot a pilot basically, and they want to get it as a show greenlit, which would become a much larger thing. And I even told the director, I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna DP this if it becomes like I would be down to work something where like I could be the DP, set the look, come in for a week, shoot, and then have someone under me who I trust come in and then take over for 2 weeks while I go home. Then I could come back for 1 week and then like you know what I mean? Like so I
Hmm.
think for me, yeah, I guess a non-negotiable is just like in terms of like personal and business is just time right now.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I love my dad was just such a present dad all the time, and I think that just like just has really stuck with me, and I just don't want to be away from my kids for long periods of time. Sucks. And I know not
Yeah.
everyone's like that. Not a lot of a lot of parents wanna get away and be away and go on these extended work trips or things, vacations, and I'm like, dude, if I don't even wanna go on a vacation without my kids, like, I just like I feel like I wouldn't enjoy it, like, I'd go there, I might have a great day the first day, and then the second day be like, "Ah, I wish it" like, my favorite part of every day is legitimately waking up Cash and Callie in the morning. I'm the one that goes and gets them out of the crib to take them down to the kitchen, and, like, I love that part because they just wake up, and they're just like, "Daddy!" Like, and, like, just for like, how what a great way to start off your day, and so it's like, I don't even know if I could really enjoy a vacation because if I went without them and it'd just be like, I wish I could, like, see them. I don't know. So
Mm.
yeah, for me right now, I guess those would be, yeah, the kind of the non-negotiables, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah.
Are you still into fitness? Is that still like a big part of your life?
Yeah, no, the smartest thing I ever did was honestly build a home gym during COVID.
Nice.
They turned the garage into like a full-on gym. I got kind of everything I need in there, which has been great, especially now that I have kids too, because I could see how it would be challenging as a parent, especially with young kids, to like who has a job or whatever to make that trip to the gym and then the trip back. But like I just get up, wake up early in the morning, go into the gym, get a quick 30-45 minute workout in, done. I got my little sauna in there, so I can sauna,
Oh, I'm
stretch.
jealous.
Oh, dude, the sauna.
Yeah.
You that would be my one recommendation is if anyone like save up to get a home sauna and they're getting more and more
Yeah,
affordable.
they get more affordable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, dude, it's one of the
I'm trying to
greatest things.
convince a brand to send me one and I'll do a little video or something. I
Dude,
just want
it's
one.
I
Yeah,
would highly, highly yeah, you could go into a sauna. It's impossible to come out of a sauna in a bad mood. Like,
for sure.
you walk out of a sauna just feeling like life's fucking great, man. Like you're just
Yeah.
like this you just there's just so much relief that happens in the sauna. That's also where I do a lot of just quiet time thinking,
Mm,
praying, kind of I don't necessarily meditate, but just sit quiet, breath work, think about things. Like I feel like a lot of my best ideas come from just sitting in there.
mm,
I love yeah, absolutely love the sauna. But yeah, I built a home gym. Yeah, it was one of the smartest things I ever did. So I don't have to drive to a public gym every day and drive back and figure out when to do that. So, and the kids love it too. Like we'll go in there and I'll be like, do some push-ups. And so I think it also just helps them like see that aspect
yeah.
of my life, which is great. But yeah, still very much into fitness. I probably don't I definitely don't work out like I used to, but no, I still get it in. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. I
What
yeah, I think
you're
what's
pretty
up?
into fitness too, all right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I have a race on Sunday. I'm doing High Rocks. I don't know if you're familiar
Uh,
with High Rocks. So
uh,
it's like this I guess it's not CrossFit, but it's like a functional training race where it's walking lunges weighted with sandbags,
mm,
sled push, sled pull, ski erg, row machine, wall balls, and in between each of those, you have to run zero point 0.6 of a mile
Damn.
after each one. This is gonna be my second one. I'm doing it in Boston on Sunday. But yeah, fitness is
So they
it's
go
like
is that like a race that goes across the country at different
they
cities
go
and
all
stuff?
over the world.
That's cool. That sounds
All over the
cool.
world. It's pretty sweet. Like something me and my friend, one of my best friends, Carmine, him and I work out every day together. And something that we want to do is travel for races. And I think that would be pretty sweet.
That actually
But
sounds
yeah,
fun.
it is. And my wife comes, she's going to Boston. His girlfriend, his parents are going, and it just turns into sort of this like event.
Yeah,
And last year we did the Honolulu Marathon, and like 10 of us, we all just went, got a big Airbnb, and hung out for a couple days
that's
for a
awesome.
week, and we had our race. But it was a way for us to all just get away and also do something that was really challenging too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. I wish I don't have too many friends that are, like, super into fitness like I am.
Yeah.
So, that's the tough part is, like, it can be a lot easier to, like, work out and do stuff when you have, like, a you know, other people kind of joining in or pushing you. But like my probably one best friend that like is super into fitness, he doesn't live in the same state as me. So, but
It's
yeah,
tough.
anytime I'm there or he's here, yeah, we'll do shit together. But yeah, it's for the most part kind of yeah solo on that journey. But yeah,
Mm,
still very much important part of my life. I mean, that's I think it's important, for creatives, to have some sort of regimen. I think that's something in our industry not as many people do as they should. You know what I mean?
right. Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, my early YouTube channel was literally the Buff
The
Nerds.
buff nerds.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when I was like trying to come up with that name, it was just like I didn't want to just call my YouTube channel like Jakob Owens. Like I was just like, what's like a fun name? And it was just like, well, I'm like kind of a camera tech nerd film guy, like, but I'm also like a big athlete and
Jacked.
jack. So I was like, oh, I'm like the buff nerd, and just it stuck, and yeah,
Yeah.
it became like a pretty big thing, and people still to this day will reference me by that and whatnot. So, but yeah,
Mm,
definitely yeah, I always say like if I wasn't doing something in the film space, I would for sure be doing something in the fitness space, like
mm.
be a
I
physical
agree. Yeah.
trainer for some sort of sports team or something. Like that'd be cool. Like strength training coach for
Mm,
like Cardinals or the Suns or something. Like always say that. Like if I yeah, didn't go into the video film kind of creative space.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah.
This might be a weird question. I've asked it a couple times before, and it's hard for me to answer it sometimes. But have you ever had like a belief that has sort of challenged you to change that belief into something that you believe in now?
Give me an example. Like what do you mean?
Like you believe something, like you have a thought or you have some sort of belief system that you live by. And as you grow, as you evolve as a person, something about the way that you have lived challenges that original belief to become something else. Has there been a moment, or it could be, the way that you go about, your relationship with a business partner, the way that you communicate, the way that you manage certain things? Is there something that has challenged you to change the way that you operate as a person?
Hmm. That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know if this would be yeah the right answer or really answer that question, but I think something that's like maybe gets a little not dark, but like so I was never my dad was an alcoholic and not through us growing up, but before we were born, and then after we kind of all moved out of the house, like fell back into it, and
Mm,
ultimately kind of yeah died because of it. And I never really drank, and after his death found myself starting to drink more probably as a coping mechanism or something. I don't know. I never really drank ever. And then I started to, and I just don't think I thought it had an impact on my life in a negative way. I could not see that and I did not understand that. But then I started to hear that from my wife that it was affecting me, and I think her challenging me to, see that in myself. Like this whole year, at the beginning of this year, I made a choice to like not drink at all, go 365 days, just to like tell myself that, like, not that I had a problem, but I just found myself doing it more and more, especially since I had never grew up doing it throughout my whole life. And just over the last few years since he passed, I just, yeah, like I said, I noticed that. And so her saying that and challenging me in that way, and me not thinking like that it really has any sort of negative impact on my life, I was just like, oh, it's just like, it's not bad. Millions of people do it, right?
Yeah.
And my life, I will say, just the way I act, just my life in general, like since stopping, is significantly better. And so I think, I don't know if that answers the question, but like
Yeah,
I
yeah. No, I
did,
appreciate you sharing this.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I I didn't think that was something that was an issue, or that I would deal with or struggle with, or would be an issue in any way. And I think being challenged in that way, and then setting a goal for myself to be like, okay, let me see, and stopping it. And yeah, obviously coming up on a year now. We're in what, September?
Yeah.
Um, it has yeah, actually significantly made a difference. And now it has me going like, okay, maybe I shouldn't just ever drink again. Like,
Mhm.
um, so yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but that
Yeah.
was something that I think, definitely like challenged the way I look at and view just things in my life and relationships, and the way, yeah, just different things. Was that kind of a little bit of that journey,
Mm. I also think it's admirable too, like the relationship you have with your wife, for her to be able to speak up and say something, and then you take accountability for that and be able to change. I think that's also
Yeah, and
really
I
admirable
don't
as
think it
well.
necessarily happened right away, but I think, yeah, at a certain point, I obviously was just like, okay, I see what you're saying. Like,
Mm.
I do act different, or it is like I could see going down ultimately the path that my dad did one day. Like, I don't want that for me and my kids. Like, I don't, like, it still tears me up inside. Like, I still cry here and there often, thinking about my dad. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, if you're pointing this out to me now, Chanel, like, yeah, I don't want that to be an issue 5, 10, 15, or even 30 years from now. Like, as much as like, we all grow up and we become adults, like we still need our parents in ways,
Yeah.
even if it's not physically, financially, like there's still an emotional thing that we need from our parents. Like I still wish I wish I could go talk to him and ask him for advice on things. Like I don't really have like a male figure in my life like that since he passed, that I can like talk to about certain things. Um,
Mm.
how other people might have, yeah, a father that they can talk to. So yeah, that's yeah, probably kind of a big shift and change over this last year for me. As it's
Mhm.
kind of just been that whole journey and thought process about just, yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing that. I
yeah,
appreciate that. I want to sort of wrap this up on a positive note
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And what do you have coming up with Prism Lens FX? What do you have? What's exciting in your life coming up? What are you really stoked for?
And so much. Yeah, just in general, just excited to just keep working on it, keep growing it. We've got a lot of like, the amount of just high level productions and people reaching out to us right now that are using our stuff or want to use our stuff. It's just kind of mind blowing to think about. Sometimes it's like, damn, that's really, like, we just sent out our early Spectre effects prototype to a Marvel film that wanted,
Nice,
and like
amazing.
there's a bunch of stuff happening like that behind the scenes that like I can't even like touch too much on, but like just that. But we have like a lot of new products coming out. Like excited for a lot of these collab kind of things. Like something that I'm like really excited about is I really want to. We have our first one in the works with BB the DP, like
Hmm.
collab products. Like we went to him because he's the homie. I was just like, yo, I want to start doing collab products. Like, is there something that you would want to use? Give us an idea, like, and kind of do these collab products and brand it with them and give them the ability to have their own product to use on set that, other,
That's awesome.
and so like excited about that kind of whole initiative. He'll be the first one. And yeah, other just general exciting products. And then yeah, just to see kind of where it can continue to go and grow. It's fun to just, yeah, yesterday was it me and Tom were working on building out the content corner, and he gets a text from his wife, who's a hair and makeup artist in LA. And it was a screenshot of the camera cart for this big campaign, beauty campaign. And the whole camera cart was just laid out with Prism Lens FX filters. And it's like, just moments like that. It's just, it's cool to just start seeing things like really spread. And I think one thing that I really want to see happen maybe more this next year is like, now that we moved into our new space and we have kind of a more of a team built out for it and more space for it, like wholesale to like camera stores around the world. That's
Hmm.
been a big struggle for us, is like, if anyone internationally wants to order our stuff, it's so expensive to get it to them, from just
Yeah.
like the taxes, duties, fees, shipping. And so like we get a lot of complaints of like, why is the shipping cost just as much as the filter? And it's like, we don't make that cost up. Like, that's just it is what it is. And so to get our stuff into more camera stores around the world, because that's slowly growing. But now I want to get, oh, there's just a lot. There's a lot happening that, is fun and exciting. It's just fun to see growth, obviously in anything that you
Yeah.
do. I'm sure you feel the same way when started your YouTube channel or podcast, when you start seeing numbers grow and that growth. And it's just a fun feeling. So
It
yeah,
is
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Well, amazing. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Carlo. Appreciate talking to you. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever really chatted officially before. So
I
yeah,
don't think officially at all. I think
yeah,
we've talked here or there a little bit, but I think this is the first
yeah.
real like chat.
No, I appreciate it.
But
Thanks for having me
yeah,
on.
yeah, where can people find you? Where can people find your products?
Yeah, I think the two easiest ones, just at Jakob Owens on Instagram, Jacob with spelled with a K, and then yeah, Prism Lens FX, just at Prism Lens FX. And those are kind of the two big focuses. But also like our studios, like if anyone watching, listening, if you need a studio in LA, we've got a variety of film and photo studios. But yeah, like everything that I do, like could obviously be found at my Instagram. Like I have the Instagrams and links to all that stuff over there. So can kind of use my page as a list to find everything. So
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Peace out.